module, let us get started with Chapter 6 of Biology, Life Processes. Firstly, what do we understand by the term life? Life term is denoted given to animate objects. So what are the basic differences between the animate objects and the objects which are inanimate in nature? Now when we talk about the entities in nature which are animate or which are living, they exhibit the various metabolic processes. They carry out various activities like respiration, digestion, circulation, excretion and osmoregulation. They have got a definite lifespan. They exhibit movement except that of plants. Now when I talk about inanimate entities in nature, the ones which are non-living in nature, they do not exhibit movement, they are non-motile in nature, they do not carry out the metabolic activities, they do not have a specific lifespan. That's the basic difference between animate and inanimate entities. Now what are processes? When we use the term process in this chapter, which is referred to as life processes, processes are the various metabolic activities which take place in the body of an organism. Now when we talk about metabolism, it can basically be divided into two. So metabolism is basically divided into two. That means the various chemical reactions, the building up and the breaking down reactions which are taking place in our body. So metabolism can be further subdivided as anabolism and catabolism. Now when we talk about anabolism, anabolism refers to building up reaction. That means something is being manufactured or produced in the body. So those reactions which facilitate the process of formation of new products, they are referred to as anabolic reactions. And when I talk about catabolic reactions, these are the ones which carry out the reduction or the breaking down of substances. So they are the breaking down reactions. Now the example of anabolic reactions is photosynthesis, where glucose is produced along with the byproduct, that is water and oxygen. Whereas when we talk about catabolism, the example is respiration, where the oxidation of glucose takes place. That means glucose gets broken down so as to produce carbon dioxide and water. So these activities, these metabolic reactions which are taking place in our body, they are referred to as the various processes. Now the life process which take place in our body are the activities like digestion, respiration, circulation, transportation in case of plants, excretion and osmoregulation. So before we move on to the various other life processes, we'll talk about nutrition. Now what do we understand by the term nutrition? Nutrition that refers to the process of intake of organic or inorganic substances so as to produce energy in the form of ATP. And ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate, is the energy currency of the body. Now when we talk about nutrients, the nutrients could be those substances, inorganic or organic, which provide us energy. Now organic substances are those substances which are product of living, whereas inorganic substances are not the product of living. So nutrition is basically the process of intake of these organic and inorganic substances, that is nutrients, so as to provide energy to the body so that body can carry out various activities. Moving on to the mode of nutrition. Now when we talk about the mode of nutrition, that means the methodology of nutrition, that is how the organism they take up the nutrients, utilize that to carry out the various activities. The mode of nutrition adopted by organisms, it could either be autotrophic mode of nutrition or the organisms could go in for heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now when we talk about the autotrophic, that refers to self. So auto refers to self and hetero refers to non-self. So autotrophic mode of nutrition is where the organisms, they can prepare their own food with the help of process like photosynthesis, for example green plants, or blue-green algae, that is cyanobacteria. Then when we talk about heterotrophic, that means non-self, that means these organisms are dependent upon the autotrophs for their nutrition. They thrive on the autotrophs and then obtain energy, and that can be utilized for various metabolic activities. Autotrophic mode of nutrition can be further subdivided into two. One is referred to as photosynthesis and the next is referred to as chemosynthesis. Now photosynthesis is the process. When we talk about photo, so that word refers to light, and synthesis means to prepare. So plants, they prepare their food with the help of light energy. Chemosynthesis refers to the formation, the process of utilizing chemicals, like for example iron sulfur bacteria. So iron sulfur bacteria, it will utilize the substances, that is iron and sulfur, and carry out its own, suffice its need of these various, carry out its own various metabolic activities. Heterotrophic nutrition can be further subdivided into saprophytic, holozoic and parasitic mode of nutrition. Where when we talk about the saprophytic, it is exhibited by the fungi which feed on dead and decaying organic matter. Parasitic is a mode of nutrition where the organisms feed on the host, the parasite feeds on the host. For example, the lice which are present in the head, the ticks, mites which are present on the body of the organism, they suck their blood and derive nutrition. Holozoic refers to the process of engulfment of food, like for example Homo sapiens and amoeba. So in this module, we had basically talked about the introductory part of life process. We had dealt with nutrition and the various modes of nutrition. In the next module, we'll talk in detail about the mode of nutrition. Thank you.